Good day, everyone. My name is Bridgett Renay. I am a CEO, best-selling author, a U.S. veteran, and my job is to make you uncomfortable. Because the only way you're going to follow through on the promises that you make to yourself is for you to get uncomfortable. It's never going to be an easy thing to create the business nor the life you vision for yourself. And if anyone tells you that it is easy, they are lying. And you may want to dissolve that relationship immediately. That's the bad news. The good news is that we're at an amazing time in history where we can actually bring our vision into reality. I'm going to tell you why that is in a moment. But first, let me tell you my story. I started my own business, Legacy Bridge Incorporated, because I want to make a difference in the lives of those who are underemployed, undervalued, and underserved. I have two platforms within my company. The first, Lunch Break Hustler Publishing, is how I publish my best-selling books, 3 best-selling books to be exact. It's also how I create my online courses. My other platform, Veteran Collaborators, was created because it is my God vision to help veterans. Being that I'm one myself, I understand how difficult the transition can be from going from active duty to becoming a civilian working in corporate America. This became my vision way back in 2001 after 9/11. You see, I was a Navy reservist, recalled back to active duty, and I served 10 months as a security patrolman in the Middle East. One day while on duty, my friend and I were at guard at the front gate, and we noticed a van pulling up. It wasn't a suspicious van, but it was a van that we just weren't familiar with because we knew, just about everyone who came and gone, left the base because it was such a small base. Nonetheless, when the van pulled up, we wanted to make sure they had the right credentials to get onto the base. And so we checked everything out, and it checked out. So we waved them onto the base. And as we turned around watching them leave, we noticed some flowers in the rear window, along with 2 metal boxes. And so we called the home office, the home base, and we said, what was that? What's that about? And they let us know that those were not just 2 regular boxes. Those were 2 coffins, and within them laid the bodies of the first 2 casualties from Operation Enduring Freedom. There were 2 civilian men. And when we realized what we had done at that moment, that we were the escorts for the first US casualty within this war, it changed our lives. It changed mine because I knew that I had to stop playing. I knew that if God allowed me to go home, that I had to just step my game up. I can no longer just take life, just be all nonchalant. I knew I had a lot in me, and so it was time for me to prove it. And when I got home, I made up my mind that I was going to do just that. And it was that event that inspired me to live life on my own terms while helping others. And what I enjoy most about helping people is that I help them build profitable business platforms. And that's what today's lesson is really all about. Do you realize that you only need 3 major things in order to build a platform, a vision, a tribe, and a plan? We're going to start with your vision. You see, most people believe that a vision is something they create within their minds. But the truth is, a vision is something God puts in your heart. And then we're going to move on to your tribe. A tribe is very necessary because you want to be accountable. Without accountability, your vision, along with your plan, falls apart because no one can do this alone. And lastly, there's your plan. A plan is not something you simply write down. It has to be logical as well as timely. So let's get to this. We're going to start by giving you an example of my vision, the vision I have for you. And that is for you to turn your lunch break into your most profitable hour of the day and gain the healthy kind of fat. That's the PHAT fat, and it stands for Personal Habits Advanced Transformation. Now let's talk about your vision. What has God placed in your heart? And it has to be within these 4 areas: financially, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. What has He placed in your heart? What is it that you do freakishly well that you want to share with the world? And then how are you honoring His vision? Because every day you have to wake up striving. You have to just go for it every single day. You can't just lax on this. So how are you honoring His vision? Are you using vision boards, daily confirmations, which is my favorite, daily confirmations, or even breathing techniques? Because you want to clear your mind so you can just stay focused on what your God vision is. And then there's your tribe. You never want to go it alone. You need people. You need so many people that's going to be a part of your life and a part of your plan that you cannot ignore this factor, because you're going to need clients. When you get your business going, you want clients. How else are you going to pay the rent? And then you want prayer warriors. You want people that are on your side, that are on your team, that are so down with you, that they get up, they pray for you just as much as you pray for yourself, and they're praying for you to succeed. And then you need accountability buddies. And this is something that you have to take very seriously, because they're not just your accountability buddy, you are theirs as well. And it's up to you two to motivate each other and to guide each other into succeeding. And I know this because I have one myself. And we meet by phone, every week, at least once a week, and meet in person at least once a month. And we share with each other what our goals are for like the next few months. And if I slack, and getting my goals together, I hear it from her. And if she slacks, she hears it from me. And that's what accountability buddies are all about. And then you want people vouching for you. Once you get your business going, you want people to, send the word out that you're out there. Word of mouth is just that's better than like Facebook ads. Word of mouth, you can't beat it. So you want people out there vouching for you. And that's your tribe. Because God gave us our mental wings to soar, not hover. So we got to stop playing. And now we're going to take you to the plan. And the plan is really from my best-selling book, Love the Job You Hate, the 5 fastest steps to turning your lunch break into your most profitable hour of the day. And I'm going to tell you what inspired me to write this book. It is my Whitney Houston story. And it goes like this. Remember when I said, I was over in the Middle East after 9/11. But when I came back, I went back to corporate America. And so I kind of I wanted to relax a little bit because just been through war. So I started, going to lunch with my colleagues, or, I'd be in a lunchroom sitting across from my colleagues, and they would talk about Whitney Houston. Back then, it was Whitney Houston. It's like, oh my goodness, she gonna marry Bobby Brown. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? I'm like, well, yes, I can believe that. If that's their thing, I don't care. And so they talked about it so much that I had to remove myself from the break room. And I started just, strategizing and building a lunch just for myself so that I can just start creating the life that I wanted. And I started with working on my undergraduate degree. So I removed myself from the lunchroom, started working on my undergraduate degree, and got it in a few years. And so I'm like, okay, great job. So let me, relax a little bit. I relaxed and went back to the lunchroom. And guess what? They're still talking about Whitney Houston. This is years later. They're talking about now that her and Bobby Brown, they doing drugs. Oh my goodness, they are doing drugs. Can you believe that? I said, yes, I can believe that because people do drugs. But they talked about it so much. Once again, I had to remove myself from that lunch break room. And I started focusing on my graduate degree. And bam, a couple of years later, I got my undergraduate degree. And so I'm like, okay, let me relax some more. Went back to the lunchroom. And what are they talking about? Whitney Houston. But guess what? She's dead. Not funny. It happens. It was sad. It was sad, but she's dead. And so that was a talk. I'm like, feel bad for her, for the family, but I got things to do. I'm still here. Why are we talking about this? Had to remove myself again. And I said, you know what? I always wanted to be an author, a best-selling author. So I focused on writing my book. Bam, I'm a best-selling author. Celebrate one more time, go back in that lunchroom. I'm like, you know what? There is no more Whitney Houston. So there's no more Whitney Houston to talk about. So what's up? Go in the lunchroom. Bobby Christina found unconscious in the bathtub. I said, okay, done with you people. I don't think I ever went back into the lunchroom again. I just really started focused on building my dream. So that's what, that's why I built this platform, and that's how it came to be. And we're going to just start by talking about your plan, by how you spend your workday. And the percentages on this chart, they represent a 24-hour work period. So look at the hours that you spend working, 8 hours. Hours you spend sleeping, 7 hours. You spend 4 hours of family and other life commitments, running errands, things of that nature. 2 hours commuting, 2 hours on other meals, bathing, getting dressed, all that good stuff, and only 1 hour for your lunch break. Can you believe you can turn your life around in just that 1 hour? And that's only 4% of your day. And here's how. This is from my book, The 5 Fastest Steps to Turning Your Lunch Break into Your Most Profitable Hour of the Day. Number 1, you take your power back. Number 2, you remove the clutter. Number 3, You become a lunch break hustler, rite of passage. Number 4, you master your message and administrative needs. And number 5, you launch. Let's go through them. Let's start with taking back your power. The first thing that you have to understand is you have to know what keeps you up at night. What is it that's keeping you up at night? You know, are you parking your car around the corner because it's about to be repossessed? Do you go to work every day just ready to scream at the world because you hate your job so much? You have colleagues getting on your nerves. You know, you haven't been able to go out and have a meal, you know, at a nice restaurant in ages. What is it that keeps you up at night? Or is it the person laying next to you? Hey, that's a factor too. But you got to know what keeps you up at night, because in order to succeed, you have to remove obstacles. That's what success is all about. Once you start removing those obstacles, you're on your way. So what's keeping you up at night? And then taking back your power, you also have to celebrate what you already have accomplished. And sometimes people look at it as being so small. It's like, why should I celebrate that? You know, why should I celebrate like paying off your credit card, paying your bills on time? You know, not just not having to worry about putting food on the table. That's something to celebrate. So you want to celebrate your micro wins, because guess what? They're going to turn into macro wins. And you also have to follow the money. Anytime, you know, there's like corruption in politics, you know what politicians do? They follow the money. So you have to start following your money as well. Are you putting your money on you instead of in you, always trying to look the part? You know, you want to get like the latest designer shoes, designer purses, designer clothes. Is that you? Just trying to look the part so you can fit in? And what about insurance for your cell phone? Do you have insurance for your cell phone, but not on your life? Do you know you can only just like maybe double the cost of the insurance for your cell phone monthly to pay for life insurance, to get a life insurance policy? And what about your tax return? Do you see it as free money that you deserve to use to treat yourself to something fun? Because it's already your money. That's why it's called a tax return. It's your money. You already gave it to them. They just used it for interest, earning interest on it. But it's your money. In other words, not realizing the difference between spending and investing. And that's what taking back your power is all about. And then there's removing the clutter. Removing the clutter from your head. That's all about the things I talked about before, like with the breathing and the daily confirmation, things of that nature. You know, you want to clear your mind. And sometimes you want to just clear all that noise that's in your head. So start using exercises that remove the clutter from your head so you can start focusing on the things that you really want in life, the things that you deserve. And then there's removing the clutter from your job. It's not just about, you know, having a clean work area, but I mean the clutter that all the noise is in the background, you know, all that chatter that's in your ears, all the gossip that you're listening to. You know, people saying, oh, there are going to be layoffs, or oh, she's sleeping with such and such. Get away from that. That's why I remove myself, you know, from the lunch break room, to get away from all of that noise. And then there's removing clutter from your home. You know, when your closets are all, you know, just piled up with stuff that you don't even use anymore, your drawers are just cluttered with a bunch of things, it clutters the mind. And removing clutter from your home is another way of removing the clutter from your head. So don't sit around and all that stuff just, you know, because you want to accumulate a bunch of things. They're only things. Get that clutter out of your house and find a space for you, a space that you can just relax. You know, if you have a family, find a room or a space or just some location that's just for you. And then we go into the lunch break hustler, rite of passage. And you know what that is? It starts with loving the job you hate. And I say this because, you know, the reason why I named the book Love the Job You Hate is because when I talk to people about their jobs, first thing they say is, I hate my job. I'm like, well, most people do. But there's a reason for you to love your job. And that is because your job is the biggest investor in you that you have. So you need to love that job because it pays for your home, pays for your clothes, your food, you know, health insurance, well, a lot of places. But start looking at the job as the investment tool that you need to get to the next level in life. So start learning to love the job that you hate. And then recognize what you bring to the table. You know, people think that because they're at, you know, the lowest level in a company, that they don't bring anything to the table. They're only there for their manual labor, but that's not true. You know, a lot of times, say something like your smile. Has anyone ever told you you had a great smile? I actually get that a lot. But yeah, a smile is what you bring to the table because it changes people's attitude. You know, a smile makes someone else smile, and then they treat the customer right, you know, so everybody's day goes well. Or maybe you're the one who can do that report so quick and so easy, it's like you want to show it. Share it with everyone. Show what you can do. Show them what you are made of. There is something that you bring to the table, so bring it. And then there's the art and rewards of sacrifice. And you know what, Nike, they are about to blow up with this campaign because it is something else. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. What are you willing to sacrifice? You may have to sacrifice your weekends. You know, you may have to sacrifice, you know, the night on a town with your girls. You may have to sacrifice some things. Those $100 shoes, really? But yeah, the art and rewards of sacrifice. Understand it. And master your message and administrative needs. And when I say master your message, I mean for you, you know, to just practice your message. Like do what I'm doing right now. You know, get in front of a video and just start talking about what it is that you do. Because you have to be able to articulate yourself about your business. When you begin to speak with authority, people listen. Trust me on that one. And then there's mastering your administrative needs. And the number one thing I want to say is don't steal office supplies from your job. You know, get in the habit of buying your own office supplies. You know, get a Office Depot account or something because, you know, it's fun. It's really fun when you start taking care of your own business. You don't need them for that. You know, they're already giving you the job. So don't go there, you know, taking their stuff to build up your home office. And also know what you're a pro at. Know what you do well and what you can't do for your business. Because a lot of times you're going to have to outsource some of the tasks within your business. So know what it is that you do well and what other people can do for you. You're going to have to spend some money to make money. And then lastly, you launch. And when you launch, ask for help when you need it. Do not try to go this alone. Do not do that. We're out here for you. And that's a lot of the difference between being an entrepreneur and being in corporate America. Because being entrepreneurs, we look out for each other. And we can't wait to help you. We can't wait to build you up. We want to be responsible for that. You know, we want to take credit for that. So you come to us when you need some help. There are so many communities out there. Your tribe is out there waiting for you. So don't ever hesitate to ask for help when you need it. And do it afraid and uncomfortable, like I did. Because I tell you, when I published my first book, I actually did it through traditional publishing. I got an actual real publisher to publish my book because it was that live. But my book sat on Amazon for a year. And guess how many copies it sold? 6. Yes, you heard me right. I sold 6 books. And you want to know why? It's because I thought they were supposed to be doing everything. I called them up. I'm like, okay, what is this about? 6 books? They're like, oh, you're supposed to be, you know, doing the marketing and doing all this and doing all that. I'm like, then what do I need you for? And so I fired them. But you know what? I had to buy the right back to my own book. I had to pay to get my own rights to my own book back. But that was okay because I went out there and I studied, I read, I went to all types of conferences and everything. I learned everything about self-publishing that I could. And then I went out there and just self-published my baby. And it was the scariest thing, the most uncomfortable thing to just hit that enter button and send my baby out there to cyberspace for everybody to see. But guess what? Within 48 hours, not only was I a bestseller, but I sold over 4,000 copies. 48 hours. You know, I put it in someone else's hand and sold 6 copies. I put it in my hands and sold 4,000. And that is something that I want you to do for yourself. That's what I want you to achieve. And I have 2 life-changing questions for you before I end this. Number 1, what would your life look like 1 year from now if you don't take action? And number 2, what could your life look like 1 year from now if you follow through on your vision? I need for you to really think about that and focus on those two questions. But in the meantime, I do have a gift for you. I want you to subscribe to my website, and you're going to get a free download of my bestseller, Love the Job You Hate, and you're going to love it. And so I want you to write this down now, www.bridgettrenay.com. Once again, www.bridgettrenay.com. And I want to thank you once again for spending this time with me. My name is Bridgett Renay, and it would be my absolute pleasure to serve you.